Let's talk about knives. Now, I was currently in the market to replace my current EDC knife with a new one. And the reason being is I'm pretty hard on my blades as far as the environments that I go. If you guys have spent any time watching my channel, you'll know that I often end up in very high moisture-rich environments. And a lot of this is done on purpose, in that I purposely go into the mountains knowing it's going to be raining or snowing or what have you. And sometimes it's by accident. That's a whole nother story, and maybe I'll save that for a random ramblings. But in trying to determine what EDC knife I wanted, I started kind of thinking, well, what do I want that EDC knife to do? What am I going to be using it for? And the biggest thing, I think, was moisture. Again, I mentioned that earlier, but I needed a blade, or I need a blade that is going to be a little more tough when it comes to the environment and the moisture-rich environments that I often find myself in. So that was the big reason. Another thing that I needed it to be is it needed to be somewhat considered for a role of self-defense. So I didn't want a very small blade. I wanted it to be a somewhat large blade. And I prefer the open hole deployment, and, well, not a deal breaker, I wanted it to be a one-hand operation. That's just something I like. And I needed to be under $100. And the final thing is I wanted it to have some type of coolness factor to me. So I started looking at all those things, and the steel that I decided on was 154 cm. The reason I decided on that steel is I have used in the past ATS 34, which, if I'm correct, is equivalent to 154 cm, or very close to. I think ATS 34 is actually a foreign, I might be Japanese made steel or a Chinese made steel, I'm not sure which. And of course the 154 cm is American. But those two type of steels are very similar. And the ATS 34, I've gone swimming with that thing and never had to worry about rust. So that's why I wanted to go with the 154 cm, and that still keeps your blade or your overall cost to a reasonable cost. So that was kind of why I wanted that steel. I haven't had any experience with that steel, so we'll see if I like it. Something else that I have found that I really like with the Tenacious is it's kind of a thicker handle. There's a little more real estate down here on your handle to put in the palm of your hand. I have found that I like that, especially in thinking of a self-defense type of role. I like that real estate in my hand. So I wanted something that was a little bit bigger and beefier, that I could put that in my hand. So those are some of the things. There's other factors that I considered, but those were some of the main ones. What I really wanted that I didn't get is the Benchmade Onslaught. I am in love with that knife. It's one of those that as soon as I put it in my hand, it was just phenomenal. However, the price point on that was I think it's $150, so a little more than I wanted to spend. So the blade that I did choose, and there are some things I really like about it, and there are some things I don't like about it. But overall, I liked it enough, obviously, to purchase it, and that is the